Oh, are we really gonna stand behind the fucking desks as we do this? Woman, you crazy bitch. Oh, and Kay's here, too. Hey, shut up to hear you talk about my dad's murder. Kay, what are you doing here?
Oh, hello, mister. I'm still investigating.
But the object you're looking for is already...
Okay, don't mind him. Please continue with the investigation.
Okay, you got it.
Kay's the one making all this shit worth it. Detective Bad, haven't we already found what you're looking for?
If it means I can keep her in the dark just a little longer, any little task will do.
Oh, you're more sympathetic than I thought.
Oh my god, we really are doing it like this.
I've been waiting for you, Edgeworth.
I've also been waiting for the moment in which we can finally lay this case to rest.
The moment in which we can finally lay this case to rest? Wasn't that when we placed Detective Gumshoe under arrest? I think we're more than solved this case already. Tell you.
We'll see. It all depends on whether or not your logic holds. Oh, I see we even have a viewer in the gallery. And why, even Mr. Bad is here. The viewer in the gallery? I'm hardly just a bystander.
Plus, she couldn't sit in the gallery. She's too short.
I have a duty to see this case through to the end. No matter how it turns out.
Oh, is that right? Anyway, I thought you might like to hear what I have slaved away to find out. I've taken statements on every single person's movements. During the time when our suspect was in the hallway, I also confirmed that there is no possible route of escape from lobby number 2. Therefore, the killer must have without a doubt be Detective Gumshoe.
And that's all you have?
Yeah, that's all there is. That's all there is to my conclusion in this case.
Oh, you silly bitch. I bet you didn't expect this. Got him. In a trial, there is always time for rebuttal, and we are standing in a court of law after all. I'd be more than appropriate to follow the rules of court in this case, don't you think?
How absolutely like a rookie to think of such a thing. But alright, I'll play along and give you a proper testimony.
If my logic is correct, then I've already won. All I have to do now is to prove it by showing who the real killer is. Alright, let's do this.
Everyone says the suspect has an alibi for when the gun went off. Furthermore, the areas of the crime scene have all been thoroughly investigated, right? I also confirmed that there's no possible escape from lobby number 2. Which leaves us with the one unshakable conclusion that Detective Gumshoe is the killer. Yeah. Now that you have your testimony, I expect a good rebuttal, Edgeworth.
But of course, there is no need to confront your logic head-on right now. I should instead focus on drawing out any trump cards she has up her sleeves. Come on, give me the good shit, baby. Hold it! It's a suspect, but I thought that Detective Gumshoe's alibi had already been proven.
Are you joking, Edgeworth?
I assure you this is no joke.
Look, I know you heard from the judge earlier that the detective was in the hallway with Mr. Faraday's daughter eating a Swiss roll.
Yes, that is correct.
But see, that was 20 minutes before the real gunshot went off, right? And the problem is there's no one in the room who can corroborate what he did since the snacking.
I see she's done her research well, which means that I should focus on drawing out whatever trump card she's withholding. Oh yeah, I gotta figure out what evidence you're hiding from me, you filthy fucking defense attorney. God, I hate defense attorneys so much. God. Fucking defense attorneys.
Fucking defense attorney.
Especially ones that wear blue. The names start with P and end with Enix. Phoenix. Whatever they have.
Penis in his penis. The sketch eyebrows and lines in your face are back. Anyway, even if you believe it hasn't been exhaustive, the crime scene lobby number 2 has no way out other than the hallway Detective Gumshoe was standing in. And because he claimed to be there, that makes him the only possible suspect.
But isn't it also possible that someone escaped through a window and into the garden?
That's the first place everyone looked silly. The place had a bunch of lazy bums. They looked into every possibility, you know. Isn't that right, Mr. Bad? Yeah. There wasn't a scrap of evidence to suggest someone used one of the windows. There also weren't any footprints or anything in the courtyard garden.
I suppose they really did check everything that could be relevant to the case. Are you absolutely positive there are no possible routes of escape?
Of course I'm sure.
No vents? Maybe they went through the AC. You don't know. They could be sneaking around in there right now.
Have you heard of this hit game Among Us, Edgeworth?
No, tell me about it.
Well, you see, there's vents. This is a courthouse, the place where criminals are brought to be judged. If there's an escape route, I'm sure every criminal would be using it to escape. It's just common sense.
Well, hopefully no one does anything crazy to escape crime, like set off a bomb. That would never happen. Ever.
Miles Edgeworth, I suggest you use a bit more of it. I suggest you use a bit more of it in the future.
Which leaves us with one unshaken conclusion that Detective Gumshoe was the killer.
Also, hello, Ray.
Ray is here now, yes. You may think it's unshakable, but to me, there are still too many unanswered questions. For example, who was it that placed the gun in Mr. Faraday's hand?
But you're the only one still wondering that. Detective Gumshoe probably had no idea which hand Mr. Faraday used to write with. Even if you know someone, it doesn't mean you'll know which hand they write with, right? I mean, I certainly don't care about that sort of thing.
There was an ink stain on his hand, you dumb bitch!
You dum-dum?
I'm not about to let her get a rise out of me with such a flippant statement. I suppose we've really reached the end now. I already have my trump card ready. All that remains is to play it. But before I do, I think I should inquire into a little something about her argument. You said earlier that you confirmed the alibis of every other person, and every person other than the suspect. However, I don't recall either Francisca or myself speaking with you about the subject.
But there were witnesses. For you, there's your mentor who gave you an alibi.
I see.
As for the little Missy, she came to the courthouse during the recess. It was stopped by a security guard at the door to the hallway. She gave him quite a whipping for that, or so I heard. I'm the daughter of Manfred von Karma, and I will not be forcibly stopped by a guard or a bailiff or anyone else.
Wait, so basically the only reason Francisca bothered to show up today was because she found out that I was to be the replacement prosecutor. By the way, Miss Yu, what about everyone's alibis before Detective Gumshoe was assigned to guard duty?
What about them?
Have you looked into what people were doing during that span of time?
What kind of idiot do you take me for? It doesn't matter when the killer went to lobby number 2. For the time we heard the gunshot,
You idiot, that's exactly what matters right now.
to the time Mr. Bat and I arrived at the scene to be dashed from lobby number 1. The only person who could have committed the crime was Detective Gumshoe.
Yes, let's talk about when you and Detective Bad heard that gunshot, shall we? I suppose that if we go by your logic, then Detective Gumshoe was the only one. However, what if the crime had occurred at an entirely different time than when that gunshot you heard went off? What then? That gunshot was a trap meant to manipulate our perception of when the crime took place.
Sadly, your explanation is very lacking, Edgeworth. The gunshot we heard in lobby number 1, care to explain how that could have been fabricated?
You idiot. I have it on film.
That tape?
Ah, I see. She does all of her makeup. Oh, she even does the little duck lips thing. Look at her go.
Yeah. Just,
Yes, it's exactly what you think it is. This is the surveillance tape of Mr. Bell, the prosecution presented in today's trial. This was found loaded in the video player in lobby number 2. That was connected to the large television that had its volume turned all the way up.
you can't honestly mean that the sound we heard was a gunshot in the video.
But I do, which leads me to my next point. The murder occurred much earlier than anyone heard the gunshot.
That's the only thing I can think of, too.
After committing double homicide, the killer took the surveillance video out of Mr. Faraday's evidence bag, turned the television's volume all the way up, and left the video to play. If played from the beginning, it would take 30 minutes for the gunshot sound to come on. And since we now know that this method of time manipulation is possible, which is a very weird way to put it, I will, again,
Time manipulation.
this motherfucker's a time wizard. It opens up the possibility that the killer is someone other than Detective Gumshoe.
Sounds for television doesn't amount to much here. But of course, Mr. Prosecutor Edgeworth and Little Miss Von Karma already knew that much from the very beginning, right? Of course we knew. Didn't we, Miles?
Yes, of course. We know about the soundproof quality of this courthouse's rooms. Of course, I'm not about to admit that we had no idea until a while ago.
That's right, and if the rooms are soundproof, then we should not have been able to hear it.
And then you also shouldn't have been able to hear the gunshot anyways.
And yet we heard the gunshot clear as day.
And?
And? That's it. End of story.
But that's not it. How should I explain why she was able to hear a gunshot from a soundproof room? The window was open.
There was a hole in the wall.
Looney Tunes style. Elmer Fudd. There is actually one common point between lobby number 1 and lobby number 2. And it is that despite the fact that both rooms have air conditioners installed, a window was open in each. Now, we know the window in lobby number 2 was opened by the killer. However, a window in lobby number 1 was also opened. And I believe someone forced a bottle of perfume and spilt it everywhere on accident. Oh, look at that!
It's probably just coincidence that they both opened at the same time.
That's no mere coincidence, I assure you. Oh my god. That person is the real guilty party. The real killer in this double murder is... Oh, it has to...
Get her ass.
You dumb bitch! Miss Costello, you... I hereby formally indict you of the murder of Mr. Faraday and Mr. Rell.
What? You... That... me? Oh my god. Are you serious, Miles? Why do you think she's the killer?
I don't understand her motive just yet. Give me a second. But listen, I'm on something here.
I'm gonna get this bitch, Francisca.
But of course I'm serious, because she's the only one who could have done it. Well, Miss Yu, do you still feel like laughing now?
Ha ha ha. Of course I do, Edgeworth.
My argument must not be tight enough yet.
Although I never thought things would spiral into this. But I'll have you know when I'm enjoying this dance. Quite a bit. I guess this means it's time for my own rebuttal now, right? You argue that the window was open. However, do you have proof that it was I who did that? Furthermore, do you have any proof that the tape was used in committing the crime? Frankly, I'm shocked at you for going around accusing people of murder like this. Especially with logic as full of holes as yours. Dumb skank.
This is where it really starts. I mustn't let my guard down for even a second or the truth will blow away. Now I'm awake. Now I'm ready to do this. Like, I actually want to...
I know.
I know. Finally. All the pieces are coming together.
It took how many hours?
6. And plus, this fucking song bangs. Alright.
I know.
Evidence. All I need to do is have some prints analyzed, and we know straight away.
Be my guest.
She sounds as though she had the room to maneuver, which means even if we were able to lift prints, they'd only show that it was someone else. But why that someone else was forced to open the window? That's simple logic. Why don't I try presenting that piece of evidence? I have nothing to lose.
What's wrong? The scrunched eyebrows, lines in your forehead, they're all back. More importantly, are you going to be okay not running a fingerprint analysis?
Yes, I'll be fine.
Oh, well in that case, I'll just continue with my testimony, alright?
The game's pretty heavily just being like, do it, present the thing in the first one. Alright, well, she opened the window because of the perfume.
Yeah.
I'm sure you've seen this before, haven't you, Miss Yu?
Aha! Edgeworth, I never knew you were into wearing that kind of perfume. It's not exactly what I'd recommend for boys, you know.
This isn't mine!
That's right, it's mine, and I received it from Detective Bad, you see?
Miss Yu, you can pretend all you like, but we know at least this much for sure. That this bottle of perfume was given to Detective Bad by you.
Because it gets really strong really fast. So, what about the perfume?
While you were in lobby number 1, you made a big show of spilling some of this perfume. That's according to Detective Bad.
Oh, I know.
You also knew that if you spilled it, he would naturally move to open the window.
Come now, I've already told you that it's all just a big coincidence. After we opened the window in lobby number 1, I just left it open, you know? So maybe it's just dumb luck that we heard the gunshot through the window.
The timing of when you were going to spill the perfume is something you could control, though. And most important fact about this case is when people were made to hear the shot. Because they didn't hear the balloon. She knew when the gunshot was gonna go off.
Oh.
So that is an incredibly tight span of time. Furthermore, it would have been pointless if you didn't have an alibi for yourself at that time.
You mean...
Miss Yu, you were the one who called Detective Bad into lobby number 1. When you saw him bring Detective Gumshoe into the hallway. Is that correct? Is that why... Detective Gumshoe never heard the gunshot, did he?
No.
Did he? Like, was the window still open? Yeah, it was still open.
I mean, he might have, but I can't remember.
It doesn't really matter right now at this point.
Yeah.
All of today's premeditated events could have only been thought up by you, Miss Yu.
Ha 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 ha! You accused me of murder on the fact that I smelled just a little perfume. Well, allow me to say this much. I couldn't have killed Mr. Faraday.
Would you care to testify as to why?
Ha 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 ha! Look, I've had a lot of fun today, really. But I grow weary of the same game of cat and mouse. Let's make this last testimony wrap this absurd case up once and for all.
Fine, I'd like to go to sleep. I think it'd be great if this was the last piece of testimony. Do it, bitch.
Accusing someone of murder over a spilled bottle of perfume is a bit over the top. But I suppose forgery of evidence is to be expected as a disciple of Von Karma.
Oh, damn.
Jesus Christ. In any case, it simply could not have been me who killed Mr. Faraday. After all, I don't even know where the knife that was used to kill him came from.
Shit.
Miles, her testimony is flawless.
Yes, but no matter what sort of trick she may try to pull, she won't escape me. And if I'm lacking in information, I'll just draw it out of her. Alright, let's
We gotta pry this bitch.
pry her open, crack her apart like a fucking Kit Kat.
But like the way unhinged people crack Kit Kats.
Yeah, I want to eat her like sideways. I should phrase that differently. I should have thought about that sentence a lot longer than I really did.
I'm sorry, I received one of what?
Can I have that stricken from the court record, please? I think I already explained the significance of that earlier.
You only confirmed that I did spill some perfume. But that's all. Bet you would accuse me of murder based on a simple spill. Don't you dare complain when I sue you for defamation of character.
Do as you like. But as for me, I believe...
You believe?
I believe that you are the true culprit in this case.
My, you're enthusiastic. Of course, I should have guessed.
I formally request that you desist in your attack against my mentor.
Yes, or I will sue you for defamation. All I'm doing is telling the truth. Well, maybe more like spreading gossip. Although your adamant denials are, shall we say, just adding fuel to the fire?
How dare you?
Say such a thing! Calm down, little girl. Don't let her get to you. Yeah? Aw, why'd you have to ruin my fun? Well, shall I continue?
Simply could not have been the one who killed Mr. Faraday. And why exactly could you have not killed him?
I was just about to testify that. You're such an impatient man. I'm not really into that, you know, Edgeworth.
You preferences have no bearing on what is at hand.
Feeling a little uncomfortable, are we? Miss you. You will desist into this tomfoolery and return to your testimony. And Miles, if you're going to lose your cool, then I won't show you any mercy.
Sorry, Miss Yu, please continue with your testimony.
Sure. As I was saying, I couldn't have possibly killed Mr. Faraday.
Oh shit.
Wait, it was a key at first.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's what she's saying, is she doesn't know where the
Oh, it's fine. Sorry, my dumb brain's like, wait a
But
second.
we have to bait her into saying she knew
Yeah.
about the key. At this rate, she will inevitably escape. But if she really was the one who killed Mr. Faraday, then she must have known about the existence of the knife. I'm sorry, Miss Yu. Maybe you weren't aware. However, the knife that was used to kill Mr. Faraday was taken from his evidence bag.
Miles, what do you think you're doing?
I'm drawing the truth out of her, that's what I'm doing.
Huh? I don't recall a knife being present at the trial earlier today.
Well, I suppose that's because the evidence was something Mr. Faraday had yet to use.
So that's what you're trying to do.
Look, why don't you cut it with the lies? I've already figured you out. There was no knife inside Mr. Faraday's evidence bag. The only evidence he had yet to present was the key at the grocery had sent.
No one knew about the key!
No one knew about it! Unless the key can magically turn into a knife, you really don't have a leg to stand on.
She shouldn't have known about it.
Did you really think you could trap me? Come now, be honest.
I never intended to do such a thing. It was all a misunderstanding on my part. In any case, I wonder if you might append what you just said to your testimony?
Sure. Why not? I'll even say it as many times as you like.
Nice typo.
I know.
There was a key in his evidence bag, but you can't kill anyone with a simple key. Yeah, about that. Hey, how did you know about that? That also apparently isn't what I do here? Okay. Fine, listen, it's fine. I'm cool. Everything's cool. I guess I wasn't supposed to pretend anything yet. Sorry.
We just have to pry more?
I guess so. I guess I needed to just press again. Ah,
I don't know why that couldn't have also done the trick.
that should have done it. Miss Yu, I would just like to confirm something with you one more time.
Oh? About what's going to happen to Detective Gumshoe after this?
I don't need to ask you about that. Because he isn't the killer.
Looks like the number of wrinkles on your forehead have increased yet again.
That issue aside, Miss Yu, I'd like to ask you about what was inside the bag. Are you sure it was the Yatagarasu's key, correct?
Yes, I'm sure. Which is why I'm completely baffled as to where the knife could come from.
I think I've just spotted the road to a perfect victory. Finally, it would appear that you have revealed your true identity, Miss Yu.
Miles, her final statement.
Yeah, I know. All I have to do now is to present the evidence. Oh, I guess they want me to present the knife.
Okay.
I thought it was because she shouldn't have known about it in the first place.
Yeah.
No. Miss Yu, I wonder if you might take a look at this photo for me. Take a look at this photograph. Every time it makes me laugh. However, while it may look like a key at first glance, check this shit out. I learned this one in prison. I mean, from my dad's ghost. Best friend.
Ghost prison.
Ghost prison. It in fact has
Have
the
you met Casper?
has the secret ability to transform into a knife, which means that what was inside Mr. Faraday's bag was both the Yatagarasu's key and the murderous knife. You knew that the key was inside Mr. Faraday's bag, didn't you not?
Yes.
Well, with the Yatagarasu's key alone, it's more than possible to kill Mr. Faraday. Do you understand now? Just knowing of the existence of the Yatagarasu's key. I see.
I still haven't had a good look at it. Showing it to me from that far away? You could be lying for all I know.
You would even now still feign ignorance.
I'm not feigning anything.
What's poppin', Retta?
Hello. But we can't have you accusing me of a crime with false evidence, now can we?
What's going on, Ace Attorney, baby? Good shit.
I mean, Mr. Von Karma. I've heard some very interesting rumors about him. Are you mocking my papa?
Down, girl, down! Don't you dare sully the good name of my mentor. Now take a good look. This piece of evidence is more than real.
Wow, who knew that there's such a trick to this thing?
Are you satisfied now? But of course, you knew from the very beginning, didn't you? D&D game for the first time? That's nice. You knew that the knife and the Yatagarasu's key are one and the same. Otherwise, someone like you who isn't a member of law enforcement, and who would never have been privy to this trick, would have never known about it to begin with. Furthermore, there's something that the Yatagarasu sent to the police. How did you have knowledge as to what it was?
Actually, I heard it from Mr. Faraday. Just before he dragged Mr. Rell off, he told me. Oh, that's right, I almost forgot. He also told me about the key turning into a knife at that time.
He didn't know. He didn't know it's a knife.
Ooh. But he didn't tell me about how the key actually transforms.
What you're saying is simply not possible.
Oh, and why not?
Because Mr. Faraday himself didn't know about the hidden knife within the key. For within these pages, he mentions nothing about a knife.
I'm not sure I would have written everything on his organizer, you know. Like he would have written everything.
Where is it? Always try your... What could it be? I'm already trying to play 4D chess. What proves he didn't lie?
Oh my god! Wouldn't something of this importance be rare left to oral communication?
Unfortunately, that is also impossible. Because Detective Bad didn't know about the knife either.
Shh.
What would have been highly classified information even within the police force, and is something that even the lead detective on the case didn't know. Why would Mr. Faraday have felt the need to share such information with the opposition?
Yeah, I guess he wouldn't have much of a reason to. Looks like I gave a pretty lame excuse, huh?
How can you laugh at a time like this?
She probably just realized the flaw in her logic and is actually in a panic over it. But that's not something we need to concern ourselves with.
I suppose you're right. Miss Yu, I'd like to state that I also know how you know the real nature of this knife.
Do you know? Well, why don't you put your money where your mouth is and show me?
Oh, I will, and I'll wipe that smile off your face by the time we're through. This is it, the moment of truth, the secret behind the Yatagarasu's key. I want to know it from the get-go. Who would know about this?
The Yatagarasu?
Take that! There is only one person who would have known about the dual nature of the key.
And that is?
That is the person who sent the Yatagarasu's key to the police. That is to say, the Yatagarasu herself.
Shit, you know that would make sense, considering you know how the Yatagarasu digs up like information on dirty companies. She says like a lot of companies have hired her for stuff.
And she's defending people in smuggling rings to get information.
Yeah. Are you saying that this lawyer is the great thief Yatagarasu?
Miss Yu, you used Mr. Rel to lure Mr. Faraday into a trap, didn't you? You, who professed to bear a grudge against criminals. Why? Why do something like this?
I can't let that laugh. It's kind of late.
I know, it's fine. It's alright. It's okay, I get you. It's also really late on my end.
Who would have thought that you, a stupid rookie prosecutor, would see through me? You're sending the biggest chill down my spine right now, Edgeworth. This feeling of thrill, it's greater than when I sneak into someplace. You killed Faraday? Why? Answer me, Callisto, you. Callisto, you, huh? That's not my real name. Because my real identity is, yes, the great thief Yatagarasu. Let me tell you something, Edgeworth. Mr. Faraday was one difficult man to deal with.
Why the hell is Kay using the name Yatagarasu now?
I don't know.
This woman killed her dad.
But you see, he had discovered my true identity. Which is why I had to erase him from the world of law. I made Rel an offer, an equivalent for a little favor in return. All he had to do was accuse Mr. Faraday of being the Yatagarasu in court. But once we entered the recess, Rel was dragged off by Mr. Faraday, which threw my plan to a complete mess. I chased after them and eavesdropped on them through a crack in the door. That Rel caves to only two things, money and authority, just as all thugs do. I feared my plan was going to be ruined by Mr. Faraday, if Mr. Faraday held on to Rel any longer. Plus, if I had let them continue on the way they were, I would have been found out. And that's why I had no choice. I had to kill them both.
But didn't you say that you despised criminals?
But do I really? You. Have you forgotten about the KG incident too? Maybe. What sort of woman would?
What the fuck is wrong with this lady?
I don't know.
So then, was it your plan to kill Mr. Faraday with the very evidence that you sent?
Haha. Well, I had a good idea of what Mr. Faraday was going to do. I anticipated that Mr. Faraday was going to prove that Rel wasn't the Yatagarasu. by using this Yatagrasu's key as evidence, and that he would bring it with him. Which is why I thought to use the knife portion. With a weapon as well disguised as this, no one wouldn't be the wiser. Because who in their right mind would think of something like this could be a weapon? I casually entered lobby number 2 on the pretext that I had to talk with Mr. Faraday. In order to get in with him, I pretended to be right about something. He then let me hold the Yatagrasu's key, just like that. Oh shit! That makes sense. He never noticed yeah.
Sorry.
And he didn't have the chance to take note of the knife that took his life. How could you kill him? I knew him for a long time, you know. At the very least, I thought to give him a quick and painless death.
But if you killed Mr. Faraday first, then there was no need for you to kill Mr. Rel as well.
I believe I mentioned Vi when we were placing Detective Gumshoe under arrest. Something about having accidentally created an eyewitness. And how that led to the killer to think about setting them up as though they'd killed each other.
Then the trick with the surveillance tape.
Yes, I had actually planned to use a gun. The risk was too high that I'd be caught. However, that's why I remembered the existence of the surveillance tape. Which is why I had Rel help me set up the crime scene. And after all was said and done, I rewarded him for all his hard work with a bullet.
Oh my fucking god!
What the? This lady's like a... Jesus Christ!
Holy shit!
What the fuck is wrong with her?
You're a defense attorney, are you? How could you betray a client?
Client? If you want to talk about who was the client of whom first, it was me. I was the client in that murder of the Cadopian Embassy staff member, Dead Man. You ordered a hit job?
In the past 10 minutes, this lady has so much blood on her hands.
I know. You still haven't figured it out, Mr. Bad. I had Dead Man killed because he was about to give away info about the smuggling ring. Now, who exactly do you think would benefit from such an assassination? You can't be. You're... That's right. I'm a member of the smuggling ring.
Because she's getting insider information and covering it up.
Shit.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
What?
How could this...
You don't mean... You're working with the man and coaching too, do you? Maybe, maybe not. I guess you'll never know.
This lady's moral compass is like a fucking roulette wheel.
The Yatagarasu claims to be noble, but you're just another cold-blooded murderer. That's right, little girl. The Yatagarasu is just another killer. Be quiet, you.
Yatagarasu, you can run from the law, but you'll never escape it. So just humbly accept the judgment of this court.
Hey, Edgeworth. Did you know? The Yatagarasu has 3 legs. Do you know why that is? No? Well, let me tell you. It means that the Yatagarasu has more than one razor-sharp way to do her work.
What the?
Here's my 3rd leg of gun. You really are too naive, Edgeworth. You even handed the Yatagrasu's key right to me without a second thought. Everything may not have gone according to plan, but I'll still gladly take it.
You mean the key was your real target?
And even after I gave you such a great advice. Didn't I tell you to always keep a good eye on a criminal? Or you may regret what comes of your negligence.
That's very much not a gloss.
You
That
two,
is a
get down!
derringer. My body, I can move.
Hey, mister, to your right! Oh my god. You! Oh my
What
god.
the fuck? What the fuck? This.
Oh my god.
What the fuck?
I'm perfectly fine, Miles.
Her voice is shaking, but it looks like she's unharmed. Where did Kay go? That's a gunshot!
Don't tell who got shot. Who got shot this time?
This game.
Why is this man's life just full of very long bad days?
Just grabbed the steering wheel and fucking like threw it to the right.
I know. Sorry, but it looks like you got away. I called the precinct. They should have perimeter set up soon.
Detective Bat, are you alright? I heard a gunshot.
I'm okay. Just got another hole in my jacket.
He may say he's fine, but he looks quite shaken.
But more importantly, boy, I mean, Mr. Edgeworth, Miss Von Karma. Are you two hurt? I'm absolutely fine.
I'm also alright, thanks to Kay.
Speaking of Kay, where is she?
I swear to God, if anything hurt that little girl, I will kill everyone in this room and then myself. I am solemn vow. I don't know, she just sort of disappeared.
I'll go looking for her. Oh, and hey, Detective Gumshoe?
Yes, sir? Detective Bat, sir?
I'm sorry I doubted you.
Don't worry, sir. It's not your fault. Well, I lied to you guys too, after all.
I heard about what happened. Okay. Lying while giving testimony is still unforgivable. But in this case, you were protecting Kay and her feelings.
It's valid.
Looks like you might just have what it takes to be a real detective. Now don't you ever lose a detective spirit, okay?
You got it, Pops.
Pops? Watched one too many detective dramas recently, have we?
A way to single-handedly destroy the cheery atmosphere with one snarky comment. Like, yeah, you are 13.
I should get back to the investigation. I swear I'll catch you if it's the last thing I do.
Be careful, detective, and take care.
Thanks. Well, I'm off. Maybe we'll run into each other again someday.
Holy fuck. That spiked right there at the end.
I know, my
Jesus
fucking
Christ.
god. It's like, this fucking case is like just a flat line that just spikes right at the end.
It was like, alright, listen, we get it. It's been kind of boring. But what if we just cranked this shit all the way up? Like, I'm not tired anymore. You're the best. You really did find out the truth behind everything. Yes, well, I'm glad we solved everything before you were taken to prison. Boo, 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 boo. I can't believe how much trouble I caused you with my testimony, Detective Gumshoe. It's no problem, really. I mean, I lied too, so I didn't really help anything. It's really not your fault, Your Honor.
Well, even if we didn't have his honor's testimony, I think that lawyer would have found another way to get you convicted on her behalf.
Would have just shot another person.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, I can't believe I was about to get fired during my first week as a detective. Well, so long as you're not fired, you should work hard, give all you have, and perform your duties well. Oh, and one more thing. Kay left a present for you with me. What is it? Oh.
It's miserable.
It's miserable. It's a courthouse special Swiss roll. Can I really have it? Yeah, it's a present meant for you after all. Thanks a bunch. You have no idea how happy this makes me, pal. I'm gonna eat this right now. Sure, go ahead. The Swiss roll Detective Gumshoe and Kay bought together. That's such good art. It's so cute.
I know.
Well, the ones Kay saved never reached her father. It would appear that her sentiments have touched the heart of this detective.
He's so happy, and so is he's having a welcome back celebration of his own.
Oh, I was asked by Kay to give it to him. Whoop! That was good, pal! I can't believe I got to eat 2 of these delicious things in one day. Wait a second, what? It's like I'm in Swiss roll paradise or something. I've got to thank Kay myself. Hey, wait, where is she? You only just noticed now. Was his mind not present when we discussed her earlier? Detective Bad left to go search for her earlier. Maybe you should go join him. Yeah, you betcha, pal. I'm gonna go help him. Oh, but first, you know what, pal? Actually, I guess I shouldn't be so rude to you anymore, huh? I'm gonna stick right by your side from now on, Mr. Edgeworth, sir. I sense nothing but a most troublesome relationship from that ominous statement.
We should go home too, Miles. We have to hurry and report what happened to Papa.
Agreed. I'm afraid we must be going now, Detective. Roger, sir. And don't you worry, I'll investigate the next case we're on real well. I'll, be counting on you. The scent of trouble is definitely in the air. Thus, like a bad dream, my first outing at court came to a disturbing end. A few months later, I was finally able to properly stand in court as a prosecutor. But the detective in charge of that investigation was, as I dreaded, Detective Gumshoe. After that, he became my direct subordinate. I have tried, but words fail to describe the immeasurable suffering he has caused me. But I suppose that's just how things are. As for the little girl who suddenly disappeared, she's now...
So, do you remember now?
Yeah, I remember everything. Kay, it's been a while. Kay, you sure grew up a lot.
Of course! But thank goodness. I thought you had totally forgotten about me.
You know, I was really worried about you after all that. Where have you been all this time?
Gummy, I didn't know you cared. After my father died, I went to go live with my mother's relatives. They lived really far away, so I wasn't really able to come back here at all that much.
Oh, is that what happened? Well, I'm just glad you're all right.
So, does it all make sense now?
You betcha it does.
Oh, you know what? I was going through my father's bookshelves recently, and...
Actually, there are still a number of things that don't make sense, Kay. Huh? First of all, why did you come all the way to see me? And second, why are you calling yourself the Yatakarasu? The Yatakarasu is Callisto Yu, the woman who killed your father.
No, you're wrong. The real Yatakarasu was my father.
Mr. Faraday was the Yatakarasu?
Like I said, I was going through my father's bookshelf recently, and I found a secret diary hidden among his books. I have no regrets in choosing to walk the path of the Yatakarasu. That was written in his diary, and that's how I know for sure.
But that's impossible!
What's with that look? You don't believe me?
It wasn't just the expression on my face. I clearly said it was impossible just now.
Alright then, how do you explain this?
It's a way of disarming any security system on the user's choosing.
Yep, fast little thief. Truth be told, this is the Yatakarasu's greatest secret. And this little gizmo was used by my father.
Wow, Mr. Faraday wasn't just a great prosecutor, he was a really great thief, huh?
Yeah, my father worked really hard to steal the truth. But he was killed. And the Yatakarasu is no more.
If you're the Yatakarasu, and you're the Yatakarasu, and I'm the Yatakarasu, then who's flying the plane?
But despite that, the Yatakarasu has been spotted again recently.
Good fucking lord. It has to be someone other than Kay. Kay's already told us she hasn't stolen anything yet.
Mm-hmm.
She fucking beelined.
Unless it's you again.
She's back.
The vengeance.
And a gun.
Here, Mr. Edgeworth. Take a look at this article.
Sends card to embassy. The Yatakarasu sent the embassy a calling card.
Yeah, meaning this person's a fake. I'm almost certain that Callisto Yule is behind this.
It's not. It's a white one.
Because the real Yatakarasu would never send something like a gaudy card out.
But the Yatakarasu...
But the Yatakarasu...
Dude,
Oh, it's you.
yeah.
Sorry.
Listen, sometimes you do it, it's fine. But the Yatakarasu did send a white card along with anything to be publicized. That's what Detective Bad told me 7 years ago, if memory serves.
Well, as soon as I heard the news, I got all wound up and knew I couldn't just let it go. So I searched it out. So I could attain the truth behind the Yatakarasu. Because if anyone can help me find it, I figured it's you, Mr. Edgeworth.
So you're saying that I have your father and misuse identities backwards?
Yes, because the real Yatakarasu is noble to the end. I want to revive the real noble Yatakarasu. If I don't, my father will never be able to rest in peace.
Okay. Okay, you're so honorable. I don't care what anyone else thinks. I'll always be here to cheer you on, pal. Even if you are honorable, a thief is a thief. And if you are plotting to commit a crime, then I'm afraid I can't be complicit. Mr. Edgeworth! You guys are not making it easy for me. Who am I supposed to support now?
Mr. Edgeworth, what I want from you is not to steal something. What I want is the arrest of that evil woman.
That evil woman? You mean Castillo, you?
I think it's too hard for me to catch her all by myself. But I thought that since you were able to expose her for who she is, then maybe... Please, Mr. Edgeworth, won't you help me?
Come to think of it, I do believe I owe you.
Huh? Owe me for what?
When Miss Yu made her escape, it was you who saved my life. Furthermore, you helped me with the investigation today. I'm not so rude as to leave favors unrepaid.
Then you mean...
Yes. That case has been weighing down on my soul ever since that fateful day. Granted, I didn't remember any details about it, but I do now. Perhaps,
It's been weighing on me.
It's been weighing on me. Perhaps the time has come to settle things once and for all. If you don't intend to sully your hands in crime, then I believe I can help you.
Mr. Edgeworth, thank you!
Yeah, Mr. Edgeworth, sir! Isn't that great, Kay?
Yeah! Sure is, Gummy!
Even though he had completely forgotten about her until just now. Oh, what is with their their chummy relationship? The great thief Yatakarasu. After all that time, the true identity of the thief sank back into the darkness. Burn Faraday, Callisto Yu, and Kay Faraday. The phantasmagorically changing identity of the great thief Yatakarasu. And the Yatakarasu's real goal. It would all come to light the day after I made that promise to Kay.
Are you telling me this happens the day after that first oh my god.
No, what you're telling me is that we get off a plane, go to the amusement park to deal with the kidnapping, go home, deal with the murder, go to sleep, wake up, and have to deal with whatever the hell's about to have to deal with in this case.
Yep.
Worst, 3 days ever.